Well, I am looking at a huge group of kids from the Hillsdale Academy. It's their fine soccer team, which has been so tremendously successful this year, and their leader, Neil Brady, has joined us tonight. Neil, how are you?
I'm doing well, Andy, and I want to thank you for inviting us onto your program. It's a great honor to have my boys here and to be able to speak with you. This show is heard around the world, by the way, I know that, and there have been a lot of great people on the show, so it's an honor to be here.
Well, we do always post the show on YouTube, and people around I know we have a lot of listeners in Alaska, believe it or not, so we do have some listeners from around the country for sure. Your team this year got off to a great start. You've sustained that kind of success throughout the year. Why don't you take us back to the beginning when you were training and getting ready for the year? What kind of team did you think you had before the season started?
Well, we knew it was going to be young. We had 9 freshmen coming up and 5 seniors, no juniors, and about 5 sophomores, including my boy Sam. So we had a young team, and we had to get in good shape. We had to get ourselves acclimated to the hot weather of August and start out fast in what was the Cougar Cup. And frankly, I didn't expect our team to be as successful as we were. This was a Saturday before we played Hillsdale High School. We ended up winning the Cougar Cup. It was the first time, in spite of the fact we've had some great teams in the past, we had never won the Lenawee Christian tournament. We ended up winning that tournament on Saturday and turned around and played what we found out to be a very, very tough Hillsdale High School team on Monday, and that ended up being our first loss. So I can't say enough good things about what Al Phillip did over at Hillsdale, winning the Western Division Championship of the ISL and bringing that team along. Is a remarkable performance, coming off some slow seasons in the past, but this year they were lights out, and they deserved that victory. Congratulations to Hillsdale High School, by the way.
We had Al on a couple weeks ago, and he was a lot of fun to talk to, and that was right before they were going to play you for the second time. And their players were very confident. They had beaten you the first time. It didn't go great for them the second time, as it turned out. Your side was prepared, and you kind of put one on them a little bit, didn't you?
Yeah, I think we caught them on an off day. And frankly, the fair day is a tough day to play soccer on. And I told my fellas, there's no going to the fair.
Right.
You do that afterward, but not before the game. I don't know how many Hillsdale High School boys were there, but it's a game. It's a day that usually is wearing, and it was on our home field, which is wider than most, 74 yards wide. It's Hillsdale's field is 60 yards wide, so we had a bit more width to work with, and we used that to our advantage in the game, and ended up working out pretty well for us. Hillsdale played tough. We had a tragic injury with Jimmy Felsky, and I'm glad that he's doing well now after the surgery. I'm glad to hear that. But the way they turned around after that loss was remarkable. I thought that Quincy might give them a hard time the next time they played, but no, they picked right back up and won strong.
Isn't that part of being a successful team? You're going to have ups and downs. You will face adversity. Every sports team will face adversity during the year. Every athlete will face it. The good teams are somehow able to forget about it and move on quickly, right?
Well, yeah. The mental aspect of any sporting team is crucial, and I try to train that into the boys to understand that having their mind clear and strong and not distracted during the game is important. And I think Hillsdale, when they started to gel, they were very focused. They're tough to beat because of that. It's definitely a it's a mental game as well.
Talking to Neil Brady, the head soccer coach at the Hillsdale Academy, as they get ready for the playoffs. Let's talk about your roster a little bit. Some of your leaders, some of the guys that have really stepped up for you this year. Who are some names that come to mind right off the top?
Well, Franklin Tropiano is an outstanding offensive threat. He has great skill, great technical ability with the ball, and he's a scoring threat at any time. So I'd have to say Franklin is definitely somebody that other teams have to keep an eye on. On defense, Nick Gadwood has done a great job at what we call the sweeper. Nolan Sullivan has played a major role in goalie this year as a freshman, stepping up. We have Spencer Mogenberg in the middle, who just has a brilliant soccer mind. When he receives the ball, he turns, he distributes, and his decisions are usually the right decisions. And he combines with my son Sam in the middle. So maintaining ball possession is an important part of winning soccer games, and those two guys do a good job up front. We also have Jerry Weigel, who has a lot of speed, and he's kind of a wild horse up there. You sort of throw the ball up and watch the wild horse bring it into the goal. He's done a good job of that. But the freshmen that are starting, and there are generally about 5 of them, have played like upperclassmen. I couldn't be more proud of the freshmen that we have playing. Peter Kaltoff is one on defense. He's done a magnificent job playing defense for us. And even in the JV games, he shows how good he is against the opponents that are his age. So I would be remiss if I didn't mention that we have a girl on the team, Morgan Banbury, who has probably scored the 4th or 5th highest number of goals for us. She wouldn't be playing if she didn't deserve to play. She's an outstanding player, club player down from Cincinnati, first year at the academy. And she's helped out a lot at midfield and forward.
You see that around the league, some girls on some of these teams, or is that really rare?
It's rare for a good team, if I can call myself a coach of a good team. It's rare for a good team to have girls that are playing that much. No doubt about that.
So that's really cool.
Yeah. It's unique.
Yep, for sure. And we're talking to Neil Brady from the Hillsdale Academy soccer team. Your regular season is over. Tell us what's next. What are you preparing for now as the postseason starts up?
Well, tomorrow is what's called the crossover game in the ISL, and that means that the West Division winner plays the winner of the East Division. In this case, Hillsdale, being the West Division winner, will play Blissfield. We came in second place. We're going to go over to Lenawee Christian and play them tomorrow in that ISL crossover game. And it's meaningful if you're in first place. It's about pride if you're in second or third or fourth or fifth. But we've played Lenawee twice already this year and beat them. But they're a strong team, and we're just gonna put it all on the field. Hopefully, we'll come out healthy for next week, which starts the district tournament. We got a bye in the first round, so we play Wednesday against the winner of Jackson Christian and Calhoun Christian.
And then you just let it rip.
Yeah, it's like basketball, MHSAA basketball. Every high school team has an opportunity to carry on into the tournament and go as far as you can. Districts usually weed out the underachieving teams, and regional play is usually very, very, very high level of play at the regional level.
You know, you are a busy guy. You're the Hillsdale County prosecutor. You're the Hillsdale Academy soccer coach, and by the way, you're also campaigning for the judge spot here in Hillsdale. When you decided to run for judge, did you think about maybe hanging up the whistle this year and letting somebody else coach the team so you could focus on the campaign?
No.
You didn't hesitate?
No. Other people thought about it for me and suggested that, but it's too important to to my team, to their parents, and to the school, and it's important to me. But it's a diversion from the campaign that I find a very, very pleasant time, and it's very rewarding for me, and it's also rewarding for the fellas, especially with a winning season of 13-2 as we have. It's been a lot of fun this year.
Franklin Tropiano is one of the main guys on this Hillsdale Academy soccer squad, which is right now 13-2 going into the playoffs. Franklin, how are you?
I'm well.
Talk about the season. What have been some of the highlights for you personally this year?
For me personally, I always have fun when we're playing Hillsdale. That's one of my favorite games. Also playing Quincy is a blast. I mean, they're really competitive teams and they're really good, and it's a lot of fun to go up against them.
I like sports because of rivalries, and Hillsdale is a natural rivalry, obviously, right across town. Here you look at it, they won the first time. You get another crack at them. You won the second time. The rivalry is well and good right now and living on into next year, isn't it?
Yeah, I got a lot of friends on that team too, and it's a blast playing them. It really is, and it's a great rivalry.
What's the practice like for Coach Brady? You guys probably get together, talk about your feelings, play a little bit on your phones, and then go home, right? Is that about it?
No, we practice quite a bit. We practice every day, a few hours.
Wow.
And it's physical, it's technical, it's tactical, it's a little bit of everything. It makes us all around better players.
The thing I don't understand is the running part. I mean, I tried to play soccer a few years ago with my kids, and I made it about 5 minutes. There's no stopping, it seems like. How do you get conditioned to be able to make it through an entire soccer match?
Well, it takes a lot of work. You got to run a lot, and you got to be smart. I mean, energy conservation is huge, knowing when and where to run, and being able to read the game is really important.
Just getting a feel for when you have to attack and when you can lay back a little bit and reserve some of that energy. Franklin Tropiano with us. So what's your role on the team? How do you see your role developing as the year has gone on?
So I have a really interesting role. It's somewhere between a midfielder and a forward, and I play out wide. But I have a lot of freedom, and that's really cool because I get to drift inside sometimes. I get to score goals, I get to assist goals, and I get to work with my team, and that's really cool because I love being able to work with this great group of guys and make things happen.
What's your level of confidence as you go into the postseason right now?
I think as long as we remain positive, as long as we stick together as a team, and as long as we're smart, we can do just about anything.
Noah Kaltoff is standing to your left. Franklin, why don't you tell me a little bit about this guy before you hand him the microphone?
Noah is a beast. Noah is huge. He's like 6'8", and he can do just about anything on the soccer field. He can play as a midfielder. He can play as a stand-in defender. He was a keeper last year. I mean, he can play just about anywhere. He's got a great attitude, and he's a lot of fun to play with.
Geez, Noah, it sounds like you do a little bit of everything. How has the season been for you so far?
It's been fun. It's been a lot of fun. It's been a good experience. It's always fun playing with such a good group of guys, and especially playing under Coach Brady.
So are you up front or in the back? What are you doing?
I'm playing midfield right now, mainly left midfield.
So you're a big, tall guy. Is that an advantage or a disadvantage on the soccer field?
Yes. It's a huge advantage for some things, and it's also a disadvantage for I'm not as quick as some people like Spencer Mogenberg, who are a lot quicker with the ball. But for longer kicks, for throw-ins, for things like that, it comes in a huge advantage.
So are you heading the ball all the time?
I'm working on it.
Do you wear one of the? I see in my kids' youth soccer matches, a lot of kids are wearing the headgear with the the padding or whatever. Do you put that on, or do you just rely on your hair?
Just rely on my hair.
Just rely on your hair. Concussions we talk about all the time in football. It has been an issue in soccer in some places. Has that been a concern for you guys this year?
Nolan took a hard blow in the Hillsdale game, but other than that, no, not really.
Not a big deal.
The balls are a little bit softer than going head-on with someone else.
So when you have it from midfield, do you ever feel like you can just rip one right through the net, or do you tend to just pass it to your teammates?
I try and play smart and not be the guy to lose the ball, so I try and find the open guy and lay it off, but occasionally, why not?
Who's this kid next to you here? Tell me about him.
This is Sam Brady, and Sam's a beast. He controls the midfield with Frank and Spencer, and he's all over the place. And whenever we're in a tough spot, we always tell Sam that he needs to step it up, and he always steps it up and finds a way to score a goal or two in the second half and really kind of be that guy and that rock in the middle we need him to be.
There is no doubt about who is the father of Sam. There's no doubt about it. You could, if you put that hat on that he's wearing with the back all cut out of it, you could be your father, Neil Brady. Sam, thank you for being here. What's it like having your dad as your coach?
Sometimes it's hard, actually, because you have more of a bond than you usually do with some coaches. But there also are a lot of advantages because you can talk about the game even when you're not being coached. And I have a lot of respect for my father, and I think there's a lot of love between us.
So what's your role on the team? You're trying to score some goals?
Score some goals, assist some goals. I'm a holding midfielder, and so I push the attack up to the field.
And have you scored a couple this year? Or?
Yeah, scored a few goals.
All right. Do you do the thing where you slide on your knees across the grass with your hands up in the air when you score?
No, I do cartwheels and
all right.
backflips.
I figured. What's the protocol, though? I mean, when people score in your league, is there a lot of celebrating and that sort of thing like you see in the Premier League and that kind of thing, or is it a little more subdued?
No, you try to, if you're assisted, you go back and find the guy who got you the ball and congratulate them for helping you. But really, it's your team that gave you that opportunity to score, so you go back and thank them.
I wanted to ask Franklin this, but I'll ask you because I think you're as good a person as anybody to answer it. When you have a game against Hillsdale early in the year that you lose, and then you beat them later on in the year, it would seem to indicate that there has been some growth or some improvement on your side. Is there anything in particular that you think your team has gotten better at as the season has gone along?
I think we've learned that you have to go out and play against every team as if they were the best team in the league. You can't think that you're better than another team until you're playing them. And you just have to play as hard as you can, and you have to not break down and not yell at your teammates.
Just got to stay tough mentally and positive throughout the whole thing. Coach Brady, come back up here for a second. Thank you, sir. Thank you for bringing your crew over here. They've had an incredibly successful year. 13-2 is unbelievable. Thank you for being here, and congratulations. Good luck in the playoffs.
And thank you very much, Andy. I really appreciate the opportunity. It is a great honor to be asked to be on your program, and hopefully this won't be the last time. We'll be successful again. I know we will, and I know you're going to have that radio program for another 15, 20 years.
Anyway, why not? So Lenawee tomorrow night.
Right.
And that is at Lenawee at what time?
That's at 6:30.
6:30, okay.
Under their lights.
Fun.
They have new lights now. Yeah.
Fun. And then the tournament is next week, and we'll keep everybody posted.
Yep. And our game will likely be at Jackson Christian. Chances are they're going to beat Calhoun Christian, so we would be playing early hours. They don't have lights on their field. It'll probably be a 4:30 game at Jackson Christian on Wednesday.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank
Neil
you.
Brady's the head coach of Hillsdale Academy Soccer. 13-2 going into the playoffs. We wish them all the best, and we want to thank them for being here. We'll take one more break for some spots. Rick's in. The Tigers post-mortem when we return on the Time Out Show.